Well, some of the biggest things that have been happening the past couple weeks in our beloved RC drag racing sport has been popsicle sticks and the real street drag racing really taking off, being pushed by some manufacturers and some people. So let's talk about it right now. I'm Chad. This is the Dorky and 40 RC channel. Let's talk about the real street class today. So first of all, I'm a huge fan of the real street class. I'm kind of sad that it's taken off like right now the way it is, just because I think that like if we would have had the foresight maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, at least in my area, the group of people that were around us would maybe still be larger. You know, we all got hooked into the outlaw craze and just going absolutely ballistic and getting on our phones while we're in the parking lot testing for like voodoo pre-orders and everything. And, you know, a lot of us are friends here. I'm friends with a lot of you guys. I've met some of you guys. And, you know, I'll be completely honest, like getting into like drag racing serious this year has been very difficult. And the biggest reason why is like I'm literally by myself now. Like our group shrunk and shrunk and shrunk locally. You know, like it's no fun to just, at least it wasn't fun for me just to go out and do test hits and stuff by myself. I mean, it was cool the first couple of years because it was all super exciting and I was talking to the camera and talking to you guys and I was learning a lot and being able to share a lot, and the amount of information that like I can share now with you guys and really help you out is a lot smaller than it used to be. You know, we're more of just like talking about stuff. Now I'm still having a great time in RC doing the carpet oval stuff and just loving it, making new friends, all that kind of stuff. And the drag racing stuff, you know, I work on the car and I'm waiting to see if things will pick up, and anybody literally calls me up and says, hey, let's go to the parking lot and let's do some test hits. That would just be fantastic. But unfortunately, it just hasn't happened yet. And that's pretty sad, sad Panda Chad for sure. When I go to their Facebook page and I see the very first picture that somebody is out doing test hits with that Proline Supra body that I've had sitting back there for like 2 years, it's just cool. Like I could never put that thing on an outlaw car. I mean, it would just fly all over the place. And if you cut it all apart, then it wouldn't look like a Supra anymore. So, you know, we know that there's certain manufacturers that already are kind of pushing out real street kits. You know, I would go ahead and just say this to anybody that is kind of new into this hobby sport and you want to get into the RC drag racing without the prep, or, you know, whatever with the prep. There's a lot of value out there right now for people that are selling used equipment, used gear, and everything else. And with the real street class, you could still go just as fast as we were going like a year and a half ago or something, at least us mere mortals possibly. So there's used batteries, things like the DRK, the Tekin RX8, everything, the bullet chassis, all of that stuff is like all back on the table. You can also just hop up some kind of a stock tub chassis as well. Now it will be harder if you're using something like that to get, you know, a bigger battery in there and getting your car up to weight and being able to like tune the car and everything else. So if you really want to have fun with it and you're a big RC enthusiast and, you know, you have went out and purchased numerous $500, $600, $700 Traxxas vehicles with the batteries and matching chargers and everything, then this is definitely going to be for you, because you can go out and nearly spend the brand new money and have basically the best of everything that the real street class would have to offer. And the reason why you want to do it, I guess, instead of the outlaw is your fun factor is going to go up a lot. You know, the running the outlaw stuff, you know, there's nothing more exhilarating than pulling off. You know, I've done it a few times, like a 92, 93 mile per hour run. I've never been any faster than that. But there's nothing more exhilarating than that. But there's nothing more depressing than losing control of your car while on one of those 90 mile per hour runs and the thing just exploding, having to rebuild it, wait on parts. We all know that times are tough now. Things are a lot more expensive, and when you're just going like 60, 65, I know like only 60, 65, whatever people are running on these things now. I've heard like maybe 1.9s, somewhere around there, 1.9, 70, 75 miles per hour. I'd have to really do a little bit more digging, but it's just as exhilarating. It's just as fun. And seeing what people are saying, that like you could just basically pull your car right back, wipe the tires off, or do a carpet burnout or whatever to heat them back up and rip off another pass 2 or 3 times without really seeing any insignificant change in like your time or your voltage or anything is just freaking awesome. Like there's nothing more depressing than being out, hurrying up, doing testing or whatever, because like you only got so many hours in the day, this and that, and you're out at a parking lot or wherever for 3 or 4 hours, and you're only able to make a hit like every 15-20 minutes because you bring your car back, you got to charge your battery, prep your tires multiple times, everything else, and that's, you get your hits, and that's if everything goes well. So this right here would really bring a lot of excitement. I wish that like I had friends around that didn't get into like drag when we all did, so that way we could go and just have some fun and race each other just like we do indoors at our carpet, off-road and oval stuff that I do a lot of these days. For my local group, it's too little too late for sure, but for your group and everything else, definitely people that are like running races in like, those groups, those 15 to 20 car mid-sized groups, before you get into like trying bracket classes and things like that, maybe suggest putting out something like this Real Street class. Let people, I don't know, keep the wheelie bars, ditch the prep, and just see how things go, and make the guys who have the most money invested really, really, really have to earn it, because, we all have to agree at this point that the more money you were able to put into this, the more time and effort and everything, of course, you're going to have better results. Now, a lot of you that are starting right now, you are going to basically be able to do either class, and you're going to be able to come right out of the gate, and you're going to jump light years ahead of us, like a couple years ahead of like where we were. So you don't have much time to catch up. It seems like everybody these days is running 1.5s and 1.6s. It's just not a problem really at all. It seems like everybody is like super fast. But the thing about the Real Street and Outlaw is, when you're going that fast, you got to think about where you're going to be able to run and everything else. And the Real Street class opens that up even more. So you have more options that you can go and run on different kind of roads and different kind of surfaces. And it doesn't have to be perfect and pristine and everything else. So that way you're always like thinking that you're training and simulating for like a big national type event or something where money's on the line. You can sit back, relax, enjoy the hobby, and have some fun. So I'm all about it. That's my thoughts on it. Go check out all the manufacturers. Any of these cars and stuff will do these days. Of course, you could always grab a DC1. I'm always going to be a little bit slanted toward them, but GFRP has an actual Real Street Aero that's out there now, and any one of these chassis you can do the same thing with. It's just you don't have to spend all of the extra crazy money to make it super light and all that other stuff. You can just come right out of the box and start adding weight to it, that big battery, and you are good to go. So that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Real Street. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.